Hi, this is Reese Harper, and I'm going to be going through with you and getting started with sales and navigations. We've already done CRM, which is obviously how you're getting started with CRM, which is really the foundation of our application. The next stage is sales, and there are a number of levels that you could take with sales, and it's one of those things where CRM you usually will use all four features. With sales, you're probably going to find you may use one or two or three out of the process, and unlikely to use all four. And we'll go through the reason why that would happen, and you've got to really choose your process and how you do it. So every time people come into our system, they look at all the things and get confused. And this video is really going to help you find your feet on which method or process are you going to follow with this. I'm going to go through the dashboard of sales and walk you through how that happens. So let's go through sales. So this is that sales dashboard screen. You'll find it in the navigationals menu just up here, and then click on sales. From that, you've got four elements here we'll go through again. We've got the sales section, lead section, and that is for onboarding of new clients. That means that you use this section if you're wanting to track and manage new customers. Not existing clients or not existing deals and opportunities, but new customers. So it really segments it, because in the CRM you're going to be putting in the system all these different contacts from your relationship, like an organization and their colleagues, suppliers, vendors, designers, printers, plumbers, candlestick makers, all those different things. So, but those people are not leads. So you really have to identify, and we have a lead bucket. We call this like a lead bucket. So when there's a person that comes in the business and you want to track their progress of their sales, and it's usually new sales, this is where you start. It's a bit of a discipline, and not all industries will take this up. For example, if you do a lot of quoting over the phone, it's just too much clicking through doing a lead. So you really got to choose if this is for you. The next one's opportunities. Now that's kind of the old-fashioned way of doing different sales. And what that is that when I came into doing CRMs and doing the applications, I learned about opportunities and deals through Dale Keneally's process, just going through different stages in the pipeline. What we have found is it's kind of the old way of doing a lot of the things, and there's only really one or two things you really want to do because it gets in the way. So I use it, still probably by bad habits, but you use it to manage the opportunity. You collate quotes, you collate information, you grab files and contacts, and it's really good for people that do big projects and they want to know where they need to collect all the stakeholders in the meeting, who the designers are, and all these bits and pieces. So it's there and it's good and it has its place, but a lot of SMEs find that it's just one too many steps to use. So just get familiar with it, but it may not be for you. Now looking at the quote system, because we integrate with the accounting system, Xero, MYB, I reckon, a lot of people will start with this as well. And quoting is something that you need a quote that goes in the accounting system, and a lot of people use this. It may not be for you if you don't need to really push it into the accounting system, or you don't really want to caught up into quotes. But it's a lot of people do use this section of quoting, and we'll go through bits and pieces. Remember, this video is just a glance through, so I won't be going deep in each part of these sections, but I'll be really focusing on just the overview of how it works and what it relates to you. Then we're looking at invoices. Obviously, invoices where you follow the trail. And we'll notice we've gone from leads, opportunities, quotes, and invoices, really the path that you would take going through. And this covers sending an invoice to your accountancy packages. There's a lot of features in this section that we'll go through, that you can go from quote to invoice. You can part pay it, you can quote on 50% off it and put it into invoice. So it's got all those rich features that you expect in an application, but it follows a path, and that really helps people to know there's the invoice in the section there. Now, if you're not seeing the other videos, you've got things like all users search. If I click on this, it will show you all your leads, or your current leads, or your opportunities, or all the opportunities, or yours. Okay, so you've got to filter along here. Again, you've got things like go to sections here. Now that gives you a shortcut ability to go, when you're going to leads, I just want to see the open leads. If I go to the opportunities, I want to see the open, one, closed. If I go to quotes, I can see the open, one, closed, and it goes from the same thing. We'll go to different views in that as well. And that'll go to the traditional views. that you have that have more capabilities, inline editors and better searching, and you can customize the columns as well. Then you have things like the dashboard. So if you look at here on certain click-throughs, certain dashboards disappear. So if I go to quotes, I could get a different dashboard. For example, we've integrated this into Reckon database section. It does NYB, but this one shows you a dashboard of all your business, and we sync your transactional records so you can see your profit and losses just in the dashboards, customers' best buys, all those things. So I can quickly go through that in the last part. Again, you can see your reports, what you have, your quote templates in here. You won't really use some of these on those sections. And again, the settings. So for example, if you went to quotes, you can see the quote status terms. That's terms that it's like 30 to 60 days. Price list, we have multiple prices. You can do any type of price list, a markup, markdown, 50% off. Clients can only buy for these type of products, all those different things. You got your products list in the system as well. Usually they integrate into the accounting system, so we suck that across. Other things you've got in here, if you go to sales, you've got the pipeline. That's like a pipeline view. So if you click on here, you get a pipeline view of your sales section. In here, we have the process here in your sales. Now, good to note in here, if you're doing leads, you're doing opportunities, it follows this 7-step process, and we'll go through really quickly. Suspects is all about both of you guys have not made in contact. You may have seen a building, go, wow, there's a building, it's a suspect, I have no relationship with them, and I want to actually build an opportunity, so I call it a suspect. A prospect, one-way communication. Usually they've communicated to you. It's usually a website or the phone called in, and they're asking about your products and services. And so that's prospecting. And usually if you go to it, they've not known much about you. Initial contact is both communications, and you've identified information about it, and you've got a two-way communication with this, and you want to talk more. Identified needs, you're now scoping out for the work. You are building a relationship, and you're doing gathering information for that client. Present offer, quote, managing objections, calling back and following them up. In closing deal is you've won the deal. So that's a pipeline that you'll follow. There's connective steps, and I'll show you really quickly what that is. Again, this is a short video. It'll go probably 12 to 15 minutes, but it gives you an overview of what's going on. So the next thing is where we start, and here we'll be going through the lead section here. So right from the start, let's say a person calls in and you take the call. There's an opportunity for you. You click on the drop down menu and click on a lead here, and it's going to be Reese. I'll talk about myself. Reese Harper. Company. You can just click on here and find who it is. It will search if there's an existing company here. So that means that when you type it in, you can see, hey, there's an existing company. You can link that company rather than have more people in the company, multiple companies. So it says new, so that's good news. Email Reese. Phone number. Things like this person needs more information about X. Okay, whatever it is. So what we've done here is create a new lead. Now, down here is where it gets a bit messy, just in explaining how this works, is that you can either make a lead connected to a contact and it goes to a contact, or you make it a company. Really talks about if you are B2C, you're selling real estate or you're selling to the end users, you really want to go contact management. If you're really talking to organizations and you're really focusing on the organization, you can go here. It really doesn't matter. It focuses on where you manage your clients. Import distributing companies usually are all relating to the company. So again, you'll probably get your head in realizing, if you're not familiar with CRMs or sales, this is the thing that people get a bit deer in headlights, because they're used to accountancy systems, which is really one entity, a company or a customer. You can build a relationship with contacts and so forth, but you find in the CRM you've got more richer information, and you want to know more. So this one here, you've got to choose which direction. I'm going to use company for this one, and I'm going to create a company. It will take me to the company screen. So when I click on create, it puts a open customer. At the moment, put a suspect. You can start on, so you can go to your settings field in here and change your stages or your processes in here. And you want to go, look, I'm starting at suspect. I want to change it to starting at the sales cycle here, and I can change the sales cycles to stay and say next time I'm going to go to a prospect. Okay, every time you start. So we'll go back there. So the next lead will be a prospect, not a suspect on the start. So again, setting section up here. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go to that organization and start managing that organization's opportunity. So when you go to the company and I've marked it as a lead, you get these connective steps. Connective steps is that sales pipeline that I was mentioning beforehand. Prospect, initial contact, identify needs, and it goes through the process. So at the moment I make a call, so I can just call the person up in the system, and I call this phone number, and then I pretty much want to make a note. So I go click on the activity, subject is follow-up. So you click on the activity, how long it took, 1 hour, but you don't need to do this. It was a meeting. It could be a sales call in here. You can go back and change the activity types, and that's in the CRM module section here. That we usually, everyone who comes in our system, we usually default to CRM first on here, and that gives you the ground rules. So if you go to that, if you haven't seen the CRM video, please go there, because there's a couple of things I've explained that I'm not explaining, how to search and a few other things that's in the other videos. So we'll just make a note. Spoke to person and they are keen on X. Now, talks about sales call. I've just made a note. I can save and close that, and it gives a note here. The next thing I want to do is do a follow-up call. So I can, okay, I now want to follow up that person. I click on the task button and I'm going to follow up. And so I'm going to click on tasks, take records. Doesn't make sense on this one. You should create an activity type that makes sense. This is a follow-up about X. And if you want other people to follow up, you can just change here and add another person or just yourself in the system here. And I've made a follow-up, and I'm just going to follow them up in 3 days. Done. And save and close. And that creates a task. It goes into the CRM section here on open tasks, and it's got an activity type follow-up for database partners organization. So that's how the two systems, the sales system and the CRM system, work together. Again, if you on the other videos, it shows you this is not a link to the accountancy system. It's pretty much telling you it's a lead. You've got connective steps. It's going through. You'll move the steps to I've initialized. I've contacted the person, and I'm going to get more information and build a relationship. So it goes up the tree on that. The key things: you've created a follow-up task and a follow-up phone call as well. Spoke to them about X and that information. The other key thing about that is that in tags is what you use. This is going to be the interest groups you can have. So you can go through the interest groups about it. Say he was in manufacturing. And whatever it is, you can click on this organization and get rid of that, and get rid of that, and just create his tags that he's interested in. So save and close that. Okay, so now I've tagged him as manufacturing. I can also add more collection of contacts in here. You click on the edit button just up here and add other colleagues. So it means when you're actually identifying needs for that person, you can add multiple people to this organization to build relationships. And again, that means that when you link to Office 365, all the emails get tracked into the system, and that's what a CRM is all about, is just building a relationship with your system, organizations. So that is manufacturing, the lead taking section. Okay, back to sales. So I've done a lead. Now, again, that's a bit of information, and you may not take it. I'm going to go to the next step. I'm going to go to the organization. I'm going to move down the tree of where we do. So I'm going to create an opportunity. An opportunity is gathering information. Again, this may not be for you, but I'm just going to go through it with you. Gathering information, where I've just put the name of the opportunity. It could be building. Oh gosh, typing's going bad today. And spell check's not helping me. building stuff. Okay, that's the name of the opportunity. Status is open store. You can link to a contact in here if you had it. You can also link other contacts, or you've gone to contact. I'm going to estimate a value on this, which is $5,000 in here as well. And then you've got the probability you can move up and down. It's going to be a really good opportunity of 80% in here as well. So you've just created the opportunity. You can make comments on here. I won't. You see my typing, so I'm not going to make it bad. And then save and view. So that's now creating an opportunity section in here. It brings the tags in here, brings the stages up here as well. Again, if you're these things interact with each other, so you can just go to sales. It's now in the sales, it's initial contact because we changed it. It's also in the opportunities initial contact. So if I went to this opportunity in the lead section on the company itself, and I changed it to a next stage up, which is present offer, it changes the opportunity of that person, of that contact, and the opportunity. So these two are linked. So it winds itself together, because at the end of the day, and I'll show you just a bit more why, I'm going to click on go to the main views, and that's just talking about all leads. And what you start seeing, this is the lead section. It jumps more into, this is information about all your leads. It tells you that I've had 9,000 leads, and I can click on here and see all my open leads. You can see my one leads, and you can see the statistics. So it starts showing you, a lot of people just ask us, oh, can you give us a report on leads? This really solves it, where we have a 25% win ratio, 17.86 loss ratio for all the leads that are coming through along here as well. So that shows you a nice graph of what's going on in the leads. Again, the same thing in opportunities. You have the same look and feel of all your opportunities and where they're up to. So we're going to go back to database partners and doing stuff and load this up. Now the next thing we're going to do is create a quote really quickly. So I'm going to click on the quote button, and that's going to go bring a quote in here. So we're going to go see how it goes through all the systems here. Quote number ABC 104 brings the links, and that's another story. We track everything, how many quotes you've got. So quote on stuff, and we save and view that. So now we've got a quote. Now this quote itself, we'll just quickly do it. Brings the quotes from the accountancy system. So I'm just going to add a line. Again, this is a powerful feature. So I'm going to just really, you know, add the items without really explaining too much. Add item. Add item. So I get, and we've got unit prices. So we'll just put the unit prices in here. There you go. Make about 10, 20 of those, 64 of those, $3,000 or so. And I save and view that. So there's a quote in here, and you can, and what you can do is you can print it out. You can send the that email out with a link in here. You can have a report connected to here as well. We have price lists again in here, 10% off, and that means any new items you put in there will be 10% off from price list. You have due dates that connect to the accountancy system. All these bits and pieces you've got. So it is a comprehensive system, and we won't get caught up in all the bits and pieces on a quote, but there are other videos that explain all that. We have a quote app and all the different things, and that's another video of you can do quotes on your mobile phone, on a tablet, all those things as well. But the key thing here, it's everything flows down for the user straight away, and we can send an email out here. I won't get into that because it's going to save a few seconds of this video by not doing it. So that's the quote side. So if you send this, it will change this to status to send. Remember, if I go to the quotes section over here, you have groups that you have. By default, you've got open one, lost, and draft, and lost and won, and it gives you a category of what's your win-loss ratio on your quotes. Again, everything has win-loss ratios as you go down the tree. The last part you want to do is that we want to send an invoice. So I'm going to hopefully be really quick about this one. Is that you therefore send an invoice from here. So you've got a tools menu down here, and you send a quote to invoice. It's got so many options, so I won't again go through this, and I keep on saying that, don't I? And you've got all these different variables that you have to do a quote, because a lot of people bring up a lot of, yeah, can I do this? So I'm going to just send for this one the entire quote for the heck of it, and open it up and just send that to our quoting system. That's a bridge to send it to the accountancy system. There's don't worry about this. It's paid at the moment because there's no link to it. You can send it to Reckon for the accountancy system as well. And from that, when you send it, it then puts the quote and puts the quote status at the moment. It's draft. Some accountancy systems don't have statuses, so it may be foreign to you, but the default, we have draft, we have sent, and we have paid, for example. So when we link to the accounting system, it will mark them off as paid as well. So that is the flow itself. One Julie want to talk about with invoices. It has a lot more power to it, so we go through other things we can do as recurring invoices as well. That means you can do every, an invoice drops in every 3 months or 1 month or what it happens, and it puts into a draft for you to send out to the accountancy system or send out to the client as well. So as you click on here, you can see all the drafts and approved and in the system as well. So there they are. You can see from start to go, from leads, opportunities, quotes, and invoice, all the information. And I did promise you, and you got things like dashboards, which I'll quickly show. And these are we integrate the sales and their dashboards into one system. I'll let it load. So it's load for this one in Reckon. We've got things like dashboards because we bring all your accounting system data across. You can see here all in one spot here. You can see their expenses in your. We bring Reckon's transactional records, so that means I'm just going to get the right data line. Loading, and that shows you the income and expenses for this person. You can click on. We can drill down on here and click on and see what expenses they have. Talked about your top 5 clients in this particular date and time. You can move it around and it goes through. You've got your balance, who owe you money. You've got your payment section here, which is how much people have paid, how much is unpaid. Again, it shows you can filter down into the system here. So remember, that's kind of the thing. Sales is just not just leads, opportunities, quotes, and invoices. It's also there's a whole interaction. So we can. Our goal is just how do we speed you up. So what do you need to know to manage your sales systems and manage it, and that can be important. So I need to know like what the hit ratio is, who my top clients are, all those bits and pieces. Always something different. But these dashboards will kind of overview and give you who has paid, who's not paid, who's customers who owe you money, and then just general customers. So you can do things like click on a drop-down menu and we'll just type in Bondi, and that will give you the ability to see this person and see everything about him, scan through all the orders, purchases through him, his best items that he buys off you and what they are, and so forth and so forth. So probably something that's just really enriched you, where we're trying to get you to the next level and try and get you to better understand your clients. And the only way you can understand your clients is what they buy and sell from you. So it's quite funny where a lot of CRMs just stop at a point, which is the accountancy system. We take all over and we really enrich it for you to better understand your clients. So that helps you out. So rolling that up, that's the sales section. It's an overview of the sales section, a good 23 minutes of it. But hopefully it helps. We'll look at for more videos for a bit more deeper information of how you do opportunities, quotes, and invoicing and other features with that. But again, we'll chat more about this. So I hope that has helped you. We'll see you soon, and please contact us more information about CreataCRM. Thank you.